life started in February of 1983, and it started in the basement of my home. My wife and I started in our basement with a group of Washington University students.
Okay.
We were interested in making an impact in the African American community in particular, amongst young people specifically. And we started out as a volunteer membership organization, and over time it evolved.
It grew.
It grew. We were successful. We came up with a novel idea that families was the basis of building a community. That if you wanted to know what the community looked like, you just needed to examine the smallest unit of that community, which is the family. And the family concept that we were proposing was to take lessons from our African ancestral history as well as present day history. Families for Africans are very, very key to their survival. And most of our African Americans here come out of the South, and the way we endured the cruelties of enslavement was our families stuck together, and we worked through a lot of those conditions, and we came out, we came out. So we posed the issue that if we are going to be involved with community development, it has to be family-based and it has to be neighborhood-based.
That idea, that motto, mantra worked. You came from a basement to quite a nice building. I was telling you before we started recording that it already has a family feel, even amongst the employees here.
Yes, family togetherness, viewing everybody as brothers, sisters, trying to create a harmonious, culturally specific environment with, really soft colors, earth tone colors. It's all to have a psychological impact that whatever the stresses of society are, when you come in this space, all of that disappears and you just mellow into the environment and the environment.
We understand the reason that you started BFL, or Better Family Life, on a community level, city level. But what about on a personal level?
Well, that on a personal level, we need to strive for strong families ourselves, and that we need to be pillars of example for children and neighbors and etc. And that we should try to live good lives. Eating good, nutritious food is a big part of something that we stress as a foundation to what holds families and communities together. I have a son, and I've been married for 34 years, and I have three grandchildren, 2 granddaughters and a son. And a lot of the people who work here, they too have those same compositions. If they are younger, maybe they're starting out with their family, youngsters in the family, and they are integrating their children into our programs. So we have a summer camp now that several members of the staff, children or grandchildren, is in the summer camp. And so they're learning as we learn. So we're all a part of it together.
You hit on what I wanted us to gear into next in our discussion. Your resources and your services. This is a big building.
Yes.
We're going to talk about the building and all of that good stuff in a second. But first, let's talk about inside the building, the various departments that you have. Can you talk about how you set up this building and its departments so that people are out in the community making an impact in a targeted way?
Well, let me talk about the design first.
Okay.
My wife, Deborah, designed the color combination of the building. And the building is to reflect various aspects of the earth itself and nature. So the first floor, the garden level floor, we call the sunshine floor to reflect the sun. The first floor, and it's yellowish. The first floor is brownish, and that's the earth, and to reflect cultural items and artwork and other kinds of things. And then this floor that we're on, as you see, is green.
Yes.
So it's the grass. And then the third floor, the top floor is the sky, and it's blue. So again, you walk through all of these programs, areas, and you get nothing but nature. And the architect of this building was a famed architect. His name was William B. Idner, and he was very strong on lighting design as well as airflow. So there's a lot of windows, and you almost are feeling outside while you're on the inside. With respect to the programs, most of our programs are geared towards people who are working class families, indigent families, skilled, unemployed, and skill deficient populations. And generally, in their experience, they have always been into places that, the energy is really negative, and it's a sorrowful feeling, and the services generally reflect that. We wanted that population to have the best of what we are able to offer them, so that when they come here, their self-esteem is boosted, their sense of who they are, their sense of dignity. We talk in a low tone with each other, so we talk to them. We treat them like human beings, because no matter how bad a person might be, they're still a human, and they need to get all of the respect of a human being. So that is the basis of our housing program that is geared towards first-time homeowners, or people that are having problems with foreclosure. We have cultural arts program that emphasizes almost every aspect of dance, theater. We have community outreach programs that go into some of the hardest crime-ridden communities to deliver services and resources to those communities, to bring people into the process of workforce or skill training, or just removing some of the obstacles in their lives, healthcare, etc. We have a workforce program that take unemployed people, TANF populations. TANF is temporary aid to needy families. We have 31% of the TANF population to take them in the state, and to take them and go through a whole job training, placement, skill development, volunteerism, and to then link them to every other service that we have. So we feel that, and then we have entrepreneurial training in the building, so that again, we can serve good food, fresh fruits and vegetables and other kinds of things. So within this space, which is 60,000 square feet of space, is all kinds of things that this becomes a major hub for community development and community empowerment. And hopefully our programs and the businesses that we spawn here will then have a greater impact in the community that we are building up.
Wow. I believe you serve somewhere around 50,000 people.
Annually, we touch 50,000 lives through all of those programs that we named, and then we do various special events. Family Week that's coming up in August is one of the special events that we do annually. That right there would touch about 15 to 20,000 people itself. In the fall time, we have an annual fundraiser called our Unity Ball every November. In December, we have a major Kwanzaa festival. In May, In the springtime, we have a major dance festival, and we bring in dance companies from all over the world. And then in between that, we have youth productions, theater productions, we have garage sales, we have other merchant events here. We have speaker series. We have all kinds of things. In addition, the community rents this facility for conferences, seminars, and other kinds of things. So this is designed to become a major hub of North St. Louis development.
Would you say that Black families, especially in this community, are their needs different than other members of the St. Louis community?
They aren't different. There are some special, unique qualities in the African American family. As we know, 70% of African American families are headed by female. So single-headed household generally has the tendency of being poor, and where children from that kind of household tend to be more represented in the criminal justice system. That's not to say that single-family households aren't achieving, because we do know that there are some that are achieving, but a lot of them aren't achieving. Our school systems are in bad shape, and they're in bad shape because we don't have community schooling. In other words, schools that's relevant to the community that the people are in. The overall curriculum of reading, writing, arithmetic, those things are good, but we have to make all of that relevant to African Americans. We find that when African Americans are given academic materials that's relevant to who they are and what their experiences are, they tend to grasp that material and excel in it more so than things that's, foreign to them. So we have to change our schooling. So in terms of aspirations, all communities want stable families, they want the resources to support their children, and they want their aspirations, future aspirations, career, academic, leisure met. So African American families in that respect are similar to any other families, but there are special needs that we have to factor in. The legacy of enslavement is one, the legacy of systematic discrimination is two, racism is three, and just all kinds, living in communities that were planned to be destroyed, where you disinvested in the community, jobs left the community, etc. So we have some unique problems that we have to work on.
Certainly, and I'm glad that you talked about education. I have a few statistics that I thought might come in a little handy, because I just want to also get your reaction. Hearing those hard numbers sometimes drives the point home a little bit more. According to the American Community Survey, now this was done in 2010 and 2012, about 16% of Black women have a high school or GED diploma. Just 16%. 8% have a bachelor's or higher. So when you hear numbers like that, and you know how much of a need that there is in this area to increase educational opportunities and also increase what will keep kids interested, and target curriculums for their interests so that they can keep growing and keep staying on that road to take this 8% number higher. When you hear numbers like that, does it kind of rev you up?
It's stalling.
Is it shocking?
It hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts. But to be very honest, it's a manifestation of the systematic racism that we have endured for centuries. And, we need to be honest in 2014 and beyond, and have honest conversations, frank conversations about how devastating racism has been in African American communities, especially among the indigent population, the poor population. We could never compete with other ethnic groups if these numbers aren't improved. and they have to be improved rapidly.
8% bachelors for women, 4% for black males, 15% have graduated from high school, according to this survey. Let's talk a little bit about more of the family component. We talked specifically about individual growth opportunities, but they also, this American Community Service survey, also found only 4% of African American families in this community are married.
Well, I think it's 30%. So I'm not quite sure where they're
Hopefully that
getting
number is a little higher.
their statistics from, but regardless if it's 4% or 30% or 35%, it's low.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad. We know that marriages is on decline in America in general,
Mm-hmm.
but our success as a people have always been when there's been two income households and a mother and father handling business in that household. So, you know, we had a healthy marriage initiative that was funded by the federal government.
Really?
The funding ended about 2 years ago, but we kept the initiative. So we've just incorporated healthy marriage counseling in our workforce curriculum, because that's very critical to what we say, better family life.
Mm-hmm.
It starts with the home, and it starts with the relationship that a married couple has in that home.
Yeah, because there's a trickle-down effect.
Yes,
It starts from the family and it spreads throughout the community.
absolutely.